Hello there. Today on Mental Detox with Dr. May, I will be speaking on active listening. There's something about when you listen actively. You listen to understand, not necessarily listening to respond. Treating listening as an active process rather than a passive one. That is what it literally means by active listening. This means participating in conversation rather than acting as an audience. Active listeners show they are listening, they encourage sharing, and they strive to understand the speaker. By when we say show you are listening, we mean put away distractions. Watching TV, using your phone, or doing other things while listening sends the signal that the speaker's words are not important. Putting away distractions allows you to focus on the conversation and help the speaker be heard. I give you an example. Somebody who just comes for this active listening and putting away distraction just takes me back to when somebody had those suicidal thoughts of ending his life. And in the workplace, he walked up to one of his colleagues and said, please, can I have a minute of your time? And he was still, on his phone. He said, yes, just say whatever you want to say. For him, what he felt at that moment was, I'm tired of everything. Even him is not even willing to listen to me. And your guess is as good as mine. What happened? But the good thing is that he was able to be saved because he got treatment, and he narrated that when people don't actively listen to people, it can lead to some very disastrous situation. Another thing that is very vital in active listening is use verbal and non-verbal communication. Body language is key here, and short verbal cues that match the speaker's affect, like when you are responding excitedly if the speaker is excited, or you show interest and empathy. Verbal cues we're talking about when somebody is speaking, you are like, that is interesting, that makes sense, I understand. Those are verbal cues. For non-verbal cues, you can nod in agreement, react to the emotional content by smiling or making an eye contact. These are important, if we say, ingredients to active listening. Another thing we also have to look into is encourage sharing. In active listening, encourage sharing is also important. And we look at things like ask open-ended questions. These are questions that encourage elaboration rather than yes, no response. Open-ended questions tell the speaker you are listening and you want to learn more. So statements like, what is it like to, how did you feel when, can you tell me more? It just shows that you are participating and you want the speaker to elaborate. What do you like about, what are your thoughts about, how do you mean? Those are just open-ended questions. Or you can use reflections. In your own words, summarize the speaker's most important points. Be sure to include emotional content, even if it was only communicated through tone or body language. So let me give you an example here. This is the speaker telling you, there's way too much to do and I can't keep up. My boss is frustrated that everything isn't done, but I can't help it. As a listener, this is what I want you to say if you are in that situation. It sounds like you are doing your best to keep up, but there's too much work. That sounds stressful. You picked out, the important and even added emotional content. The third and last but not the least, when you have to active listening, and part of active listening is strive to understand. By striving to understand, be present. It's key. In active listening, you can't be everywhere. Be present. Listening means paying attention to body language, the tone, and verbal content. Focus your attention on the listening instead of other mental distractions, such as what you want to say next. So I said it earlier on, listen to understand, not necessarily listen to respond. So when possible, save sensitive conversations for a quiet time with few distractions. The other part of striving to understand is listening with an open mind. Your job is to understand the speaker's point of view, even if you don't agree. Avoid forming opinions and making judgments until you fully understand their perspective. Don't assume. Don't, think that he was or she was trying to say this. Just ensure you listen to everything before you form your opinion about the situation. Remember, whatever you do is progress, not perfection.